for Ukraine, it's very important to have advanced to advance basically on the Zaporizhzhia direction, because in this way Ukrainian forces can cut the supply of their ammunition for Russian forces. And there was some explosions yesterday. So some officials of the Ukrainian officials of Melitopol, they said that part of the railway, which was very crucial for the Russian supply, was damaged. The railway that were bringing personnel and ammunition to the occupied Melitopol. So that part of the area is very important for Ukraine.
Ukraine is a few days now into its counteroffensive, as the defence minister has said that extremely fierce battles are raging in parts of Ukraine. The journalist Kateryna Malofieieva is in the Ukrainian capital of Kiev. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
What is the situation there at the moment? Were there more strikes on Ukraine overnight?
Yeah, there were explosions in Odessa and Kryvyi Rih, although if we talk about Odessa, then all 20 UAVs were intercepted by the air defense. With regards to Kryvyi Rih, which the night before was attacked by the missile, and 12 people are reported dead so far after this attack on the residential block. So there were explosions overnight in Kryvyi Rih as well, but at the moment it's not clear about casualties or damages. In Kiev as well, we heard the air raid alerts, but so far I hope that nothing serious happened overnight.
Mm-hmm. Now, the defence minister said that Ukrainian forces have managed to advance near Bakhmut in the east and Zaporizhzhia in the south. What can you tell us about that?
That's true. What Hanna Mahler was mentioning, she's basically reporting every day about successful advancing of the Ukrainian troops. It's very small amount of kilometers, right? It's like 300 meters, it's 200 meters advancement. It's also hard to say whether Ukraine is advancing on all the parts of the front line, because remember a couple of months ago when we were talking about spring counteroffensive, there were a lot of speculations about different directions, and by no means there was expected any advancement around Bakhmut, right? And basically in middle May, Bakhmut was taken by the Russians. Now we see absolutely opposite results. So Ukraine is now advancing and taking small parts of the territory over there. So, but I spoke to the expert, and they told us that we still cannot consider this as a massive counteroffensive. It's reconnaissance by the military reconnaissance, or reconnaissance by action. What we see now on almost all the parts of the front line. For Ukraine, it's very important to have advanced to advance basically on the Zaporizhzhia direction, because in this way Ukrainian forces can cut the supply of their ammunition for Russian forces. And there was some explosions yesterday. So some officials of the Ukrainian officials of Melitopol, they said that part of the railway, which was very crucial for the Russian supply, was damaged. The railway that were bringing personnel and ammunition to the occupied Melitopol. So that part of the area is very important for Ukraine.
Kateryna, what are your realistic hopes of what can be achieved with this counteroffensive, taking into consideration everything you know about how the Russian troops are faring at this point, the Ukrainian troops' morale, their equipment, what they're being supplied with, what they've not been supplied with? What are your hopes for what this counteroffensive might in reality achieve?
Well, reality and hopes are different things, right? Because again, I was speaking to soldiers recently, and they told me about soldiers that were literally 2 weeks ago near Bakhmut, and now they're training, and in maybe in a couple of weeks' times they will come back to the front line again, on one of the toughest direction, as they expect, hardest direction, because they participated in Kherson liberation, so they proved themselves, and the motivation is not decreasing. But again, nobody when on a day of invasion, 24th of February, when a lot of civilians signed up to join the Ukrainian forces, nobody expected this to be a short fight. Everyone is preparing for the long fight, and of course, Ukrainians believed that, hoped that this summer we will be in Crimea, but we understand that, realistically it won't happen. We live day by day, and every morning we wake up and we are, happy that we actually awake.
Yes.
It applies to both to the soldiers and to the civilians in the rear.
Of course, I understand. Kateryna, thank you very much for that. That's the journalist Kateryna Malofieieva. She was speaking to us from Kiev in Ukraine.